Oh my God. Okay, first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to every single one of you. I'm absolutely amazed with the amount of comments, my latest video had. Of course, I'm talking about my video I've posted about Coco, what's happening with Coco, and how much this is affecting me and how much this is, of course, affecting my life in general. And I am absolutely blown away with the amount of comments I've actually had. Every single one of you is absolutely amazing, and I just want to let you know that I am reading these comments. I have been reading these comments, but there are so many comments. I mean, thank God, but there are so many comments that it's almost like impossible for me to reply to every single comment, but I'm really grateful. Sorry, I'm absolutely grateful for this response, because these comments have been keeping me going, and all of you telling me your little stories, your stories, what happened to you with your pets, it means to me so much, absolutely so much. Every single comment and every single reply was healing me, while I was reading this, and I was reading them. But so I thank you so much for this, and once again I'm absolutely blown away. So what am I going to say to you now? It's to give you a little update on Coco. So you see, I'm able to talk now. I'm not crying yet, no, but I'm going to give you an update to what happened to Coco after I posted that video. As I mentioned in that video, that was the second time that Coco didn't have food, that Coco didn't eat, and it was like the third, that was the second day, so it would have been the third day, of course, like a day after. After I finished this video, of course, I, took him to bed with me, and, he was sleeping next to me. He was sleeping next to my head, what he's doing lately, quite a lot. And then on the third day, when I woke up, I was just absolutely, like, completely heartbroken. I was, because the situation didn't change with him whatsoever. So he was still really unwell. So when I woke up on the third day, I was just like completely broken. I mean, I know it's not about me, but I was completely broken in every single possible way. And there was a point where I was lying down on the sofa, and he was lying next to my face, and I was just crying so badly. I was just crying so intensely. Like, oh my God, it's just so much pain, it is unbelievable, and it is impossible to explain this with words, but many of you know exactly what am I going through, and I really appreciate that. This means a lot to me. So as I was lying down, I was crying, and oh my God, I was like, my face was all like weird, I was like barely speaking, and I know what I'm gonna say right now. It's gonna sound so selfish from me, like really selfish. Like, at this stage of my life, I'm finding it very difficult to let him go. And I know that I should let him go, but it's stronger. This is stronger than me. I cannot help. I really honestly cannot help to myself, and I understand completely that quite a few of you mentioned that I should be able to let him go, which is absolutely 100%, 1 million% yes. And these very beautiful and very special creatures or people in our lives, very often they don't go because they feel that we need them, like we really need them, and their spirit just doesn't kind of move on, is not able to move on because of the amount of these strong emotions in between you and that person or that animal. For example, these powerful emotions are so strong that they are creating this barrier, and it's preventing an animal to go. And I fully understand this, but the reason why I say that what I've done is really selfish, and what am I trying to say here is that I fully understand this. I completely understand this, and this is the truth, but I was just in so much pain, and it's difficult to get on top of it. It is difficult to respond in any different way. And what am I trying to say? The time when I was lying down on the third day on the sofa, I was crying, and I was like, oh my god, my face was all weird, and I was talking, and I said to him, and he was really, really weak. The third time, not eating, he was barely moving. It was like he was on his way out, and what also got me, what really got me, just to tell you quickly, what really got me is when I had to look for the photos to send. I felt I really wanted to send a photo for Christmas, saying to everybody Merry Christmas, with my Coco next to me, and me looking for the photos of Coco. Oh my god, that completely destroyed me. Like, I've got millions and millions of photos of Coco, my gorgeous Coco, of course, and it's like it really kind of destroyed me, really looking for Coco. And just as I'm looking for Coco in these pictures, as I'm looking for Coco in these pictures, I'm like, every time I see something, it reminded me of what happened before. And it's like, he was so beautiful, he was so big, he was so gorgeous. He's still gorgeous, he's still beautiful. But you know what I mean, when some kind of illness like this happens, it does, destroy a person or an animal, in every possible way. So this is something that I found extremely, extremely hard, looking for the photos. And he's not even dead yet. I mean, God help me what is going to happen later on, So, as I said, he's not dead yet, so you know that he's still with me. But yeah, so I was lying down. I'm gonna get to that story. I'm sorry, I'm going for ages. I'm so sorry, yeah. So I was lying down and I was crying. I'm going back to that again. And then I was basically, I told him, when I was crying, no, first of all, when I was lying down and crying, he came even closer to, it killed me. He came very close to my face, even closer. He looked at me, and then he kissed me. He just touched me with his face. He kissed me. I know that he kissed me. And then at that moment, he took his paw, and then he just gently placed his paw on my face. Like, don't cry, oh my god. And at that moment, he turned around, he jumped on the table, and he started eating. He just started to eat. And while I was crying, while he was looking at me, I said to him, please go and eat. While I was crying and while I was like looking at him, and when he touched my face, and then when he came really close and he kissed me, I said to him, please eat. Please go and eat. Please go and drink, please. And this is what I said, that I don't want to be selfish, but this was like, I suppose, a very selfish thing to do, because I'm worried that now he responded to this and he gave his best, but I don't want him to torture himself, or I don't want him to suffer, and I don't feel like he's in pain, and I don't feel like he's suffering whatsoever. And this is something that brings lots of positivity to me at this such a difficult time. So I said, while I was crying, I said to him, please go and eat, please go and drink something, please do it. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this any longer. And at that moment, he just jumped on the table, and he just listened to me, and he started to eat, and he started to drink. And he ate quite a few times that night. That was yesterday. That was the day before yesterday, I think. I'm completely losing days now, do you know what I mean? But he just started to eat, like, do you know what I mean? Like, immediately, and throughout that day, he was eating and he was drinking. And now, today, as soon as he got up in the morning, he straight away went to eat, and he straight away went to drink, and this is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I cannot believe that he perked up after all this. Like, I honestly cannot believe this. So this is an update when it comes to my Coco. This is what it happened. So now he's still with me, and thank God that he's not in pain or anything like that. And on top of all this, He, I know that this is gonna sound really weird, but you have to monitor this thing. He just had poo not that long ago, and his poo was absolutely perfect. And you know, when it comes to animal dying, you know, it's a lot about just kind of vomit and diarrhea before they die, before they pass away. And now, so this really did bring my hopes, like, oh my God, what just happened? Because I really thought that he is going to die. I really thought that he's going to die that day, because that would have been the third day that he's not eating. And if an animal is not eating 3 days, then that's it. The animal is not gonna go for much longer. So I'm absolutely blown away. I'm blown away, because now I'm able to breathe again. Now I don't feel that heaviness. You know, it's the heaviness in your soul that you feel. You know, it's very difficult to explain, but as I said, so many of you have been going, you know, have gone through these things, so you do completely understand what am I saying here, because it affects every single part of you, every single part of your life. So I am absolutely over the moon. I'm absolutely over the moon, you know. And also, like, last night when we went to bed, you know, because he started to sleep on my pillow, and he really wants to be next to my head, you know, as close as possible. And last night and then he spreads more and more on the pillow, and then I just end up sleeping on a tiny little corner on the pillow, because I want him to just rest, and I want him to have the best. I want him to have everything, you know. So I don't care about myself at the moment, you know. So I just end up sleeping on a tiny little corner, and I realize, because I want to give him all that place, and then I realized, you know what, I'm just gonna put my head on the next pillow that I have on my bed next to that. So I place him on the pillow that he normally comes to sleep on. He's fine, and then I just put my head on the pillow next to it. And he just got up like 1 minute later, and he walked really close to my face, and he's looking at me like that. Why are you so far? No, why so far? Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, of course you want to be really close to me, but I just wanted to give you like a little bit of space so you can sleep properly on this pillow completely, you know? And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. And then I just cuddled him, and then just put him underneath the cover, and then we just both fell asleep like this. So I'm absolutely over the moon. I cannot believe that he's still with me, and how things have actually happened, like, completely, my God, in such an amazing way after I posted that video. So I'm absolutely delighted, you know. So, but another strange thing that happened, very unusual thing that happened, you know, like a day before he went completely sick. One day before he went completely sick. 1 day before he went like completely like sick, and he wasn't moving and he wasn't eating, you know. 1 day before, the fox came into my garden at 3 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep in a living room. And I got up at 3 a.m. I went to the kitchen to take water, whatever I did, yeah. And then I've got a little door going to the garden, and I'm just feeling something is looking at me. I feel something is looking at me, you know, but I don't really think too much about it. And then I hear a very unusual noise, like an animal noise, but I'm thinking maybe it's coming from the television. The television was still on. And then suddenly I look towards the door. I've got a glass door, and I see something is looking at me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a big, massive cat, you know. And then I look better, and it's like a fox sleeping on the doormat in my garden, right directly in front of the door. Like, literally so friendly. I could not believe, because you do not come across such a friendly fox just like that. I lived in England in a long time. I've never come across. Once I came across a little cub who was like friendly. Okay, once I came across a little fox cub who was friendly when I was eating dinner in this pub outside, and this little fox cub came in, and this fox cub was just so cute and friendly. It happened once. Okay, sorry. So, but this, like, I'm looking at this fox, in front of my, in my garden, and I'm standing literally 1 meter away from it, and the fox is not moving, the fox is not scared. In fact, this fox was so friendly, keep on coming towards me, and I didn't come into the garden, like, outside at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I was worried that Cressida is gonna run out quickly because she's so fast, and I didn't want to put her in any danger whatsoever, because I'm not as familiar with this animal in the garden, whatsoever. So I had to, like, kind of pay attention to that. So but I was just standing inside the house, and here at the door, and the fox is just looking at me so friendly. I know she was friendly, and I threw a little bit of, like, an Emmentaler cheese that I had, I opened the window, and the fox is still standing here, and I threw a little bit of cheese, and the fox is eating it, like, completely friendly. And on top of that, she's stretching in front of me and yawning in front of me. It reminded me of one of the dogs I had, like that friendliness. And I know that this fox was ridiculously friendly, and this fox stayed in my garden the whole night. After that, she just went to sleep in a little corner over there on the other side of the garden, underneath the garden chair. And I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. This is so strange. This is indeed my sign. This is my sign. And I couldn't understand that sign at the time, but I knew that this meant something. This really meant something, And then straight away after that, the next day, Coco went really unwell, and he went kind of really sick, and I really thought that I'm actually going to lose him. And so what happened today? I haven't seen that fox ever since. So what happened today? That the same fox came into the garden. That same fox came into the garden. She came to visit the garden, and I could, like, just like basically standing there, sitting there, just looking, it's just really, really amazing. So now again, I was visited by the same fox. I know it was the same fox, a really very beautiful fox, very friendly fox, and now today exactly the same thing happened when it comes to that fox. So that means this is the sign that Coco is going to be okay for a little bit longer. And this is just my sign. This is what this means to me, seriously. And now, as of today, Coco is better. And I do know that he is in this process of dying. But as I said, it's very hard not to be really excited, when an animal extends, their time with you. And even if it's for like a few days, I don't really care. I'm just going to spend as much as time as I possibly, I can actually spend with him, So it's like, I do understand he's 18 years old, and I'm so grateful to God that, I've managed to share my life with such an amazing animal for such a long time. But as well, so I know that he's not gonna go forever, but I just thought that I was kind of more prepared for this moment. I knew I'm gonna be so broken, but I just thought that I'm gonna be kind of more prepared. And once it happens, you're just so blown away, and you have no idea what's happening, like literally. And another thing that I actually didn't mention was that, yes, I mentioned that I decided to go to have a chemotherapy when it comes to Coco, because I explained in my first video why. Because there was this other cat who had exactly the same thing. The cat had a chemotherapy, and then after 2 years, the cat was absolutely fine, like nothing happened. So of course that I actually went for it, but that doesn't mean that, my Coco is necessarily going to be okay. But at the same time, I was doing my best when it comes to, this is what I didn't say, I was giving him but I was giving him natural things. Natural things like graviola. I was giving him graviola, and graviola is absolutely brilliant when it comes to fighting and destroying cancer. Indeed, so I was giving him graviola all this time. Of course, natural tincture. I was giving him graviola, and I was also giving him reishi mushrooms tincture, and I was also giving him organic echinacea, because echinacea is going to boost his white count cells, his white cells, you know, and apparently his white cells were really low. So that's why I decided to give him organic echinacea to boost his white count cells as well. And also when it comes to echinacea, it also has this amazing ability to boost the immune system. So throughout this time I was keep on giving him these natural things as well, but I didn't mention that in my first video because I was way too upset. Okay, but so I don't really know, you know, it's very difficult to tell whether this chemotherapy worked or whether this is gonna be working. It's difficult to tell whether it was graviola, it's difficult to tell whether it was reishi mushrooms, and it's difficult to tell whether organic echinacea helped him. But deep down in my soul, in my heart, I do know and I do understand that this is indeed helping him. I have been taking herbs and natural supplements all my life, and I really believe that every single person should be taking natural supplements. I really do believe that there is an answer to any illness, to absolutely any illness out there in a natural form. It's just that, you know, people are not necessarily doing this, or, you know, or people are not as focused on it, you know. So this is what I completely believe, and this is what I completely understand. So that's why I was keep on giving him this healthy natural supplements as well, and I'm still giving him this, you know. So yes, I have been giving him natural supplements because I do think it's quite important, and I am gonna keep on giving him natural supplements. So all I wanted to say to you now again, that I'm so absolutely mind-blowingly grateful for the amount of this amazing, absolutely amazing comments I had. I love your comments. I read your comments. I learn so much from your comments. And when you talk to me about what you have gone and what you are going through when it comes to your animal, you know I can feel it because of this deep connection we have, because we share our love for animals, because they are literally there are angels in our lives. There are angels. Animals are angels in our lives. And this is why it's so hard. It's so hard when this comes to an end. You know, it's difficult. So this is what I wanted to share with you. This is what I wanted to let you know, that Coco is okay right now. I mean, he's like kind of, you know, he's very kind of lethargic, you know, he's like really slow, but he's like kind of responding, and him like kind of eating again, him drinking again. He had a normal poo. I know I'm keep on talking about normal poo, but it's important to monitor these things, you know. Just now, just before I started this reading, and I was so happy. Oh my God, normal poo. Oh my God, brilliant. It's a good sign. It's a positive sign, you know. So even if it's a little bit longer, I'm so happy. Look at me right now in compared to the first video that I've sent. I couldn't even speak. I was so broken. I was so heartbroken. But this, me knowing that he's like perked up again, he's eating again, he's walking again, he's moving again, he's slow and lethargic, but he picked up a lot. This means to me so much, and this energy is contributing towards a lot in my life at the moment, because this energy is something that I can feed off, you know, and use it and carry on with things in life that I need to do, that I'm doing, like your readings, for example, and things like that. I am, you know, I feel like I'm able to do it now, you know. So this is absolutely brilliant. I cannot explain to you how happy I am. I cannot explain to you how excited I am that Coco is like kind of back to his kind of partially, you know, back to his normal self, you know. I cannot explain to you how happy and how excited I am to share this absolutely brilliant news with you. And I know that everything can go wrong, like immediately. I know. But at the moment, I have to focus on what's happening right now, and I'm really enjoying enjoying, even if it's minutes, even if it's additional seconds that I can have with him, and because I appreciate absolutely everything, every single second, spending with him right now. So this means so, so, so much to me. I honestly thought that I am going to lose him, and now, I don't know how long he's gonna be like this, and I do know that in a one way this is like a big torture in itself. Not torture, but because everything that I've been through like a couple of days ago, I'm gonna go through that all over again. I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna adjust to that, what I've been through like a couple of days ago, again when it happens, and I know it's gonna be difficult. I know it's gonna be hard. I know it's gonna be painful. But right now, I'm just happy that he is still with me. So this is the message that I wanted to share with you, my gorgeous people. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and thank you so much for being so beautiful and so kind, because you made this so much easier for me. It's not that I felt alone, but it's just sometimes, it's like when you're dealing with something so personal and there's so many people responding to it, it does change things for you in a dramatic way, in a brilliant way. It is like a light at the end of the tunnel that helps you, to keep going in such a difficult moments and situations in your life. So that's all what I wanted to share with you, just to let you know that he is okay. He's fine. He did not die. He's still with me. Thank you, God. Oh my God, he's still with me. And like what I said in my first video, I am, my gorgeous people, are going to keep you informed, what's happening with him and things like that. So for now, thank you ever so much. I love every single one of you. Thank you.